Good afternoon. Welcome to Jim Munley's World of Weather. Clicked on to long-range weather forecast discussion for July 7th to the 21st. For July 7th to the 11th, what we have here is mainly a zone of flow here across the nation, and this will transition more to a ridge setting up here in the Four Corners and a trough across, we'll go here to the 11th. They're frozen right, hold on a second. Okay, to a trough setting here up in the east. You can see it right here. Now, during this period, we're not expecting any excessive rainfall amounts. But what we do have is that several systems will be in this this easterly flow across the northern states that are right across the top of this ridge here. So there'll be some heavy pockets of heavier rain, nothing too excessive across the northern plains into the northeast. And then we'll have a frontal boundary. You can see it here, stretching into the mid-Atlantic that can bring some heavier rain and storms. We're going to look at the period for July 12th to the 16th. And what we have here is a trough sinks into the northwest. You can see it here, and pushes the ridge here in towards the plains as we go to the end of the period. And then another ridge is forecast off the southeast coast with a trough across the Great Lakes in the northeast. See right here, and here's our other ridge. It extend across the southeast at times. So for this forecast period, I am calling for above normal temperatures for much of this region here, and I'm calling for anomalies being near 10 degrees above normal, mainly across the northern Rockies. And for precipitation, calling for below normal precipitation here, probability of occurrence 35%, above normal precipitation here. Probability of occurrence 35% also across this region here. We're going to look at the period for July 17th to 21st. And what we have is mainly a zone of flow across the country. Broad ridge cover much of the nation. Strong ridge here from the Four Corners into the plains. So for this forecast period, I am calling for above normal temperatures here. Anomalies could be near 10 degrees above normal in some locations across the northern Rockies. And for precipitation, calling for below normal precipitation here. Probability of occurrence 35 to 40%. Above normal precipitation for this region here. Probability of occurrence is 35 to 40%. Okay, now speaking of the tropics. Earlier today, the system has become better organized off the southeast coast. Let me get to the right map. Okay, so we're going to go here to 8 o'clock tonight. We have a low that will be developing, and the system is located about 130 miles off the northeast Florida coast. And an area of strong winds are located on the east side. Showers and thunderstorms are also persisting on the east side of the center. A short-lived subtropical or tropical depression could form later today or on Saturday, while the system drifts generally northeastward. The low expected to move inland over the southeast United States by early Sunday. Okay, so we could take a look at the satellite. I should have had this up earlier, but I didn't. All right, so we're gonna go here. All right, here's our area here. We'll put this into motion. And you can see a blow up of convection here. You can see it has a good cyclonic flow. It looks pretty impressive, I would say. All right, so it depends how long it stays here over the waters and how much it can intensify. We have had in the past storms that formed this close to land could ramp up to be at least a Category 1 hurricane. But I don't think that's expected with this system too. There are a couple of things that are acting against this. It could be like the upper levels, how they're setting up. We have a trough here. You can see the trough here digging into the southeast. This is causing some shear, and we have a ridge that's trying to develop to the east. That could steer it northward. So we have to see how all this counteracts with. So we'll look at the rainfall amounts for this system. All right. Okay. All right, here's the rainfall amounts. All right, here's early Saturday, Sunday. It looks like most of the precipitation remains offshore. There could be a half an inch or so here in Florida. We'll go to early Saturday morning. Again, most of it stays offshore. This is the GFS on Sunday, and then it moves inland. And then we'll look at the European. That was a GFS. Brings some pockets of moderate to heavy rain, but nothing too excessive. And then we look at the European. That was the European. This is the European, all right? So most of it stays offshore. And so also in addition, we're still going to have a lot of heat remaining across much of the nation. These are the temperatures for tomorrow's 2 p.m. Then we go to Sunday, 2 p.m. Then we go to Monday, 2 p.m. All right. So that's it for now. That is the long-range weather forecast discussion for July 7th to 21st. Thanks for coming to Jim Munley's World of Weather, and have a good day.